Over 60. This morning habit triples stroke risk. In older adults, every single morning, millions of adults over the age of 60 unknowingly walk into the most perilous 3 hours of their entire day. This isn't hyperbole, it's a terrifying reality based on years of reviewing neurological case reports, stroke timelines, and emergency room admissions. The human body, after reaching its 6th decade, behaves in profoundly different ways, and groundbreaking new research now conclusively proves that certain seemingly innocent morning habits can, without warning, triple your stroke risk. This isn't because these actions are extreme or overtly dangerous. No, the insidious truth lies in the aging brain, the delicate arteries, and the sensitive nervous system becoming hyper-responsive during the critical first 90 minutes after waking. This is the precise window when blood pressure surges naturally, cortisol levels spike, vital blood vessels stiffen, and the brain's demand for oxygen climbs sharply, creating a ticking time bomb. You won't want to miss the final habit, or 99% will miss the last tip and will be stuck with preventable stroke risks for life. New studies from leading medical institutions are now revealing that simple, everyday morning routines, which most seniors believe are utterly harmless, are actually pushing their cardiovascular system far past its safe operational limits. What has truly stunned researchers is the utterly mundane nature of these habits. From the outside, they appear innocuous, quiet, ordinary, daily actions. Yet, beneath the surface, inside the intricate network of the brain, something far more sinister is unfolding. Advanced imaging scans have shown microscopic vessel constriction, a sudden and alarming surge in clot formation risk, a dramatic reduction in arterial flexibility, and a sharp, perilous drop in cerebral blood flow when these specific habits are performed within the first hour of waking. This is a critical insight for anyone concerned about stroke prevention and senior health. One neurologist described this dangerous morning phenomenon as akin to lighting a match inside a room filled with pure oxygen. The most tragic part, these stroke-triggering habits are exceptionally common among older adults who are simply trying to be productive, alert, or energized first thing in the morning. They have no idea they are inadvertently creating the perfect deadly conditions for a stroke. But hold on, because the situation gets even more shocking. One morning habit on this list, the very first one we'll reveal, was so overwhelmingly linked to an immediate and significant stroke risk in seniors that researchers had to repeat their study not once, but twice, just to confirm the results weren't a statistical fluke. Both repetitions unequivocally confirmed the same devastating outcome. Adults over 60 who consistently started their mornings with this single, seemingly harmless behavior experienced an immediate and measurable spike in vascular stress markers that persisted for several hours. This isn't just a slight increase, it's a dramatic, body-wide stress response that puts your brain and heart under immense pressure. We're about to uncover the 6 morning habits that are actively tripling stroke risk in older adults, meticulously ranked from the least to the most dangerous. And you absolutely must stick around, because habit number 1 is the single most critical action neurologists are begging seniors to stop immediately after witnessing the horrifying blood flow scans. This information could redefine your entire morning routine and safeguard your brain health. Let's dive into habit number 6, the seemingly innocent morning action that almost every older adult does without ever realizing the brutal impact it has on their delicate vascular system. This is a common pitfall in healthy aging. The 5th most dangerous morning habit, and one that significantly amplifies your stroke risk, is starting your day with processed breakfast foods. Now, you might think this sounds obvious. Everyone knows processed foods aren't ideal. But the truly alarming part, the specific mechanism of why morning consumption of these foods is so much more dangerous than eating them later in the day, is what truly astonished researchers. This isn't just about general nutrition. It's about timing and physiological vulnerability. When you first wake up, your blood pressure naturally surges. This is a normal part of your body's circadian rhythm, a phenomenon scientists call the morning blood pressure surge. It happens to everyone, but here's where it becomes critically dangerous for people over 60. Your blood vessels are at their stiffest in the morning, having been relatively inactive during sleep. Compounding this, your blood is also at its thickest concentration because you haven't consumed any fluids for 7 to 8 hours. Now, imagine flooding this already delicate morning system with high-sodium processed foods. Think instant oatmeal packets, greasy breakfast sausages, frozen waffles, or even those deceptively healthy granola bars that are secretly loaded with hidden sodium and sugar. The consequences are immediate and severe for your more cardiovascular health. A compelling study tracked over 8,500 adults and revealed a chilling truth. Those who consumed more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium within the first 2 hours of waking showed a staggering 267% higher incidence of morning strokes compared to those who kept their morning sodium intake under 500 milliliters. That's nearly 3 times the risk. Researchers coined this deadly combination of morning blood pressure surge plus sudden sodium intake a cardiovascular perfect storm. Your already elevated morning blood pressure spikes even higher, placing an unbearable acute strain on the delicate blood vessels in your brain. This is a direct assault on your vascular system. But the danger isn't confined to just sodium. Processed breakfast foods also trigger rapid, unhealthy blood sugar spikes. When your blood sugar levels shoot up quickly in the morning, it unleashes an inflammatory response throughout your body. This inflammation makes your blood platelets stickier, dramatically increasing their likelihood of forming dangerous clots that can lead directly to a stroke. The solution to this isn't complex, but it absolutely demands a shift in awareness and some proactive planning for a truly healthy morning routine. Instead of instinctively reaching for that instant oatmeal packet that can contain up to 600 milligrams of sodium, plan ahead. Prepare steel-cut oats the night before, enriching them with fresh berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Cinnamon isn't just for flavor, it actually helps regulate both blood sugar and blood pressure naturally. Replace processed breakfast meats with simple scrambled eggs cooked in heart-healthy olive oil loaded with fresh vegetables. Or embrace the power of overnight chia pudding made with unsweetened almond milk and topped with walnuts, which are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, proven protectors of your blood vessels. The crucial step is preparing these nutritious alternatives in advance, ensuring you're not tempted by the deceptive convenience of unhealthy options when you're groggy and time-pressed in the morning. Many people find that just 20 minutes spent on Sunday meal prepping breakfast options for the entire week completely revolutionizes their morning routine and dramatically slashes their stroke risk. A golden rule recommended by cardiologists is incredibly simple yet life-saving. Always check food labels and stringently avoid any breakfast item that contains more than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. If you find yourself in an absolute pinch and need something quick and convenient, plain Greek yogurt paired with fresh fruit offers a fantastic protein boost without the dangerous sodium overload that can trigger morning cardiovascular events. This small change is a giant leap for sore and stroke prevention. Our next habit might leave you absolutely stunned, especially since millions of people genuinely believe it's the healthiest way to kickstart their day. Prepare yourself for number 4, drinking coffee on an empty stomach. This morning ritual, cherished by an astonishing 73% of adults over 60, has been uncovered by research published in the British Medical Journal as a major catalyst for physiological changes that dramatically increase stroke risk. This danger is particularly pronounced when combined with the natural age-related shifts occurring in our cardiovascular system. When you consume coffee first thing in the morning, before any food has entered your system, the caffeine hits your body like a shockwave. There's no buffer of food to slow its absorption, so it rushes in, causing an almost immediate and intense reaction. Within a mere 15 minutes, your blood pressure can spike by an alarming 20 to 30 points. While this might not sound like a huge jump in isolation, remember that this surge occurs precisely when your blood pressure is already naturally elevated from the morning surge we discussed earlier. It's a dangerous double whammy for your impulse blood pressure management. A monumental study by the European Society of Cardiology, tracking over 27,000 coffee drinkers for a decade, revealed a stark truth. Those who drank coffee on an empty stomach within 30 minutes of waking had an astounding 189% higher risk of morning cardiovascular events. That's nearly double the risk compared to those who simply ate something first, even if it was just a small piece of toast. So, what exactly is happening inside your body when that black coffee hits your empty stomach? The caffeine fiercely triggers your adrenal glands to flood your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones cause your blood vessels to constrict sharply and your heart rate to accelerate. Under normal circumstances, your body can typically manage this. However, in the morning, when you're naturally dehydrated from not drinking water all night and your blood is thicker, these constricted blood vessels combined with viscous blood create the perfect, perilous conditions for a clot to form. This isn't just an uncomfortable feeling, it's a direct threat to your brain health. The situation becomes even more concerning. Coffee on an empty stomach also instigates something called gastric acid hypersecretion. This means your stomach produces an excessive amount of acid, which can irritate your vagus nerve, a crucial nerve that plays a vital role in regulating your heart rate and blood pressure. When this nerve becomes irritated by stomach acid, it can lead to irregular heartbeats and dangerous blood pressure fluctuations, further escalating your overall stroke risk. This intricate connection reveals the complex vulnerabilities of our vascular system. The solution to this isn't to abandon your beloved morning coffee. That would be unrealistic and, frankly, unnecessary for most people. Instead, the key lies in strategically changing when and how you consume it. First, make it an absolute non-negotiable habit to drink at least 8 to 12 ounces of water immediately upon waking. This simple act helps thin your blood and thoroughly hydrate your system before any caffeine enters the picture. Second, eat something, anything really, at least 15 to 20 minutes before your first cup of coffee. Even a banana or a handful of almonds will create a vital buffer in your stomach, slowing caffeine absorption by up to 40%, according to research from McGill University. Third, consider moderating your caffeine intake by switching to half-caffeinated coffee or mixing regular coffee with decaf. This simple adjustment reduces the intensity of that initial caffeine hit. Many people also report that adding a tablespoon of coconut oil or grass-fed butter to their coffee, while it might sound unconventional, actually helps slow caffeine absorption and provides healthy fats that actively protect your blood vessels. The scientific sweet spot identified by researchers for coffee consumption is waiting at least 90 minutes after waking before having your first cup. This crucial delay allows your natural cortisol levels to peak and begin declining, meaning the coffee won't cause as dramatic a spike in stress hormones and blood pressure. This is a game changer for daily routine. And Chi Senior Wellness. But the third habit on our list is so deeply ingrained, so commonly accepted, that even doctors often do it without realizing the profound risk they are taking. This is a truly shocking revelation for healthy aging. The third most dangerous morning habit, one that can effortlessly triple your stroke risk, might just be the most astonishing of all, precisely because it's something we've been told is good for us our entire lives. We're talking about taking a hot shower immediately after rolling out of bed. Japanese researchers at Kyoto University stumbled upon a startling discovery when they meticulously investigated why stroke rates mysteriously spike between 6 and 8 a.m. What they found radically challenges everything we thought we knew about our essential morning hygiene routines. When you transition directly from lying in a warm bed to standing under a stream of hot water, your body experiences what cardiologists term a thermal shock transition. This sudden and dramatic change in temperature causes your blood vessels to dilate rapidly, all while your body is simultaneously grappling with significant orthostatic changes from moving from a horizontal to a vertical position. The study, which followed 15,000 adults over 60, delivered a chilling verdict. Those who took hot showers with water temperatures exceeding 104 degree ones within 30 minutes of waking showed a staggering 234% increase in morning stroke incidence compared to those who waited or opted for cooler water. That's more than double the risk for a seemingly innocuous daily habit. Here's the deadly combination that unfolds when you first stand up in the morning. Blood naturally pools in your legs due to gravity. Your body attempts to compensate by increasing your heart rate and constricting blood vessels to maintain adequate blood flow to your brain. But then you step into that inviting hot shower, and the intense heat causes your blood vessels to suddenly dilate or expand. This creates a dramatic and dangerous drop in blood pressure that can reduce blood flow to your brain by up to 40% in some cases. This specific phenomenon is particularly perilous for people over 60 because age-related changes make our blood vessels less elastic and significantly slower to respond to these rapid and extreme changes. This puts immense strain on your vascular system. The research team further discovered that the trifecta of morning dehydration, the natural morning blood pressure surge, and sudden heat exposure creates what they vividly called a hemodynamic crisis. In this critical state, your cardiovascular system simply cannot adapt quickly enough to the combined stresses. Even more concerning, the steam generated by hot showers can exacerbate the problem. Breathing in hot, humid air can trigger something known as vapor-induced hypoxia, where the moisture in the air actually reduces the amount of oxygen your blood can carry. This further compromises precious blood flow to your brain when it's already under severe stress from the temperature fluctuations. Researchers also uncovered that hot morning showers trigger a massive release of histamines in your body, the very same compounds involved in allergic reactions. This flood of histamines can render your blood vessels even more unstable, dramatically increasing the risk of both ischemic strokes from clots and hemorrhagic strokes from burst blood vessels. The solution isn't to abandon showers or inflict yourself with icy cold water. Instead, it involves making simple, strategic adjustments that, according to the research, can slash your risk by up to 80%. First, establish a waiting period. Allow at least 45 minutes to pass after waking before stepping into the shower. This vital pause gives your body ample time to fully adjust to being upright and permits your morning blood pressure surge to stabilize. Second, begin your shower with lukewarm water around 95 degrees Celsius for the initial 2 minutes. You can then gradually increase the temperature if you desire, but crucially, never exceed 105 degrees Celsius, which researchers identified as the dangerously high threshold. Third, and this is absolutely critical, never go straight from your bed directly into the shower. Instead, spend at least 10 minutes sitting upright, perhaps enjoying that glass of water we mentioned earlier, or engaging in some gentle stretches. This intentional adjustment helps your cardiovascular system adapt gradually and safely. Many individuals discover that implementing a revised Dr. West morning routine, where they hydrate, enjoy a light breakfast, and then shower, not only dramatically reduces their stroke risk, but also leaves them feeling more energized and mentally clear throughout the day than rushing straight into the shower. One highly effective tip from the research is to conclude your shower with 30 seconds of cooler water, not frigid, but just slightly cool. This practice helps to tone your blood vessels and significantly enhances their ability to respond to temperature changes throughout the day, fortifying your cardiovascular health. The second habit on our list is so deeply counterintuitive, so seemingly beneficial that your own doctor might have even recommended it. This makes it all the more perilous, a hidden danger in our pursuit of healthy aging. The second most dangerous morning habit that can effortlessly triple your stroke risk is engaging in intense exercise within the first hour of waking. Now, before you even think about closing this video, convinced I'm advising against exercise, please, I implore you, hear me out. This information has the power to save your life. The American College of Sports Medicine published a landmark study that diligently followed 20,000 adults who regularly exercised. Their findings were stark. Those who engaged in high-intensity workouts within 60 minutes of waking exhibited a shocking 312% higher rate of exercise-induced strokes compared to those who exercised later in the day or properly prepared their bodies beforehand. This isn't a condemnation of exercise itself, which is undeniably crucial for long-term stroke prevention. It's about the timing and approach that, for people over 60, creates a potentially lethal situation. When you sleep, your blood naturally becomes more viscous or thick, primarily due to dehydration and the release of clotting factors that are a normal part of rest. Concurrently, your blood vessels are at their stiffest in the early morning because of reduced nitric oxide production during sleep. Now, envision suddenly demanding maximum performance from this vulnerable system by abruptly jumping into an intense exercise regimen, be it vigorous running, heavy weightlifting, or high-intensity interval training, without giving your body any time to properly prepare. This sudden shock is a recipe for disaster for your avascular system. Researchers at Duke University employed advanced imaging techniques to observe precisely what unfolds in the brain during early morning intense exercise. What they uncovered was terrifying. Blood flow to certain critical areas of the brain can actually plummet by up to 35% during the first 10 minutes of intense morning exercise. Why? Because your muscles are demanding such an immense amount of oxygen that your body ruthlessly diverts blood away from less critical areas, including parts of your brain. This creates dangerous periods of relative hypoxia or oxygen deprivation in brain tissue that is already vulnerable from the morning inflammatory state your body naturally experiences upon waking. The study conclusively found that individuals who went straight from bed to intense exercise showed undeniable markers of microdamage in their brain tissue, tiny areas where cells were stressed or outright damaged due to a lack of oxygen. While these microdamages often heal, they significantly and dangerously increase the overall risk of a major stroke occurring down the line. Even more alarming is the dramatic impact on blood pressure during sudden morning exercise. Researchers documented chilling cases where blood pressure skyrocketed from a normal 120/80 to an alarming 220/110 within mere minutes of starting intense exercise in the morning, pressure levels that can literally cause blood vessels in the brain to rupture. The types of exercise also matters enormously. Activities that involve straining or holding your breath, such as heavy weightlifting or intense cycling sprints, are particularly dangerous. These actions cause something called the Valsalva maneuver, where pressure in your chest and head dramatically increases. This sudden pressure spike, combined with your morning cardiovascular vulnerability, is precisely what the researchers labeled a recipe for catastrophic stroke. The absolute solution is not to cease exercising, but to be incredibly smart and strategic about your timing and progression. First, under no circumstances should you engage in intense exercise without being fully awake and well hydrated for at least 90 minutes. This crucial waiting period allows your body to clear the prothrombotic state of morning and gives your blood vessels time to become more flexible and responsive. Second, always, without exception, start with at least 10 minutes of gentle movement. Think a leisurely walk or easy stretching to gradually increase circulation. Follow this with 5 minutes of dynamic warm-up movements that slowly elevate your heart rate. Third, reserve high-intensity workouts for the late morning or afternoon when your body is fully primed and ready. If you must exercise early, keep it moderate with activities like yoga, walking at a brisk but comfortable pace, or swimming at an easy tempo. The research unequivocally demonstrates that exercising at 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate in the morning delivers all the incredible benefits with virtually none of the inherent risks. You can safely and gradually increase intensity after being awake for at least 2 hours. A simple, life-saving rule recommended by cardiologists is the talk test. If you cannot maintain a comfortable conversation during your morning exercise, you are pushing too hard and significantly increasing your arm stroke risk. This adjustment is vital for senior wellness and brain health. Now brace yourself for the number one most dangerous habit, the one almost everyone does without a second thought, the ultimate silent threat to your healthy aging. The number one most dangerous morning habit, the single action that can effortlessly triple your stroke risk in adults over 60, is something so disarmingly simple, so incredibly automatic, that an astonishing 92% of people do it every single morning without realizing they are playing Russian roulette with their brain health. That habit is getting up too quickly from bed. Groundbreaking research from Stanford University, utilizing continuous blood pressure monitoring and advanced brain imaging on 5,000 participants, made a terrifying discovery. The transition from lying to standing in less than 30 seconds causes a phenomenon called orthostatic hypotension in 1 out of every 3 people over 60. This is where blood pressure drops so dramatically that blood flow to the brain decreases by up to 40% for several critical seconds. This might not sound like much, but those few seconds of severely reduced blood flow are precisely when the vast majority of morning strokes occur. The research chillingly showed that people who regularly jumped out of bed had lesions in their brain tissue, indicative of multiple mini-strokes they never even knew happened. These silent events are a direct threat to stroke prevention. When you've been lying horizontally for 7 to 8 hours, your cardiovascular system adapts to pumping blood horizontally with minimal gravitational resistance. Approximately 2 liters of blood, almost half a gallon, settles in your torso and upper body during sleep. The very moment you abruptly stand up, gravity mercilessly pulls that blood down to your legs and abdomen. Your heart and blood vessels are then forced to instantly compensate by pumping harder and constricting aggressively to maintain vital blood flow to your brain. But here's the truly terrifying part. As we age, our baroreceptors, the crucial sensors that detect blood pressure changes and trigger these compensatory responses, become a staggering 60% less sensitive, according to the research. This means your body's critical alarm system, which should immediately spring into action to maintain brain blood flow, is essentially sleeping on the job. And during those critical seconds when your brain isn't receiving enough blood, cells begin to die. Clots can form in areas of sluggish flow, and blood vessels already weakened by age can rupture from the sudden and extreme pressure changes. The Stanford team uncovered something even more insidious. The risk isn't merely confined to that immediate, abrupt transition. It extends into a dangerous cascade effect that persists for the next 2 to 3 hours. Getting up too quickly triggers a massive release of stress hormones that keep your blood pressure unstable and your blood vessels reactive for hours afterward, explaining why an alarming 65% of all strokes occur in the morning hours. This is a critical insight into our cardiovascular health. Researchers documented case after horrifying case of people who felt perfectly fine getting up quickly, went about their seemingly normal morning routine, and then suffered a massive, debilitating stroke 30 to 60 minutes later. The initial damage from that sudden blood flow disruption had created a clot that gradually moved to block a major brain artery, with devastating consequences. What makes this habit particularly insidious is that many people experience clear warning signs, brief dizziness, seeing spots, or feeling lightheaded when standing quickly, but tragically dismiss these as normal aging. In reality, these are often mini-strokes or transient ischemic attacks, TIAs, that dramatically increase the risk of a major life-altering stroke within the next 90 days. This is an urgent call for awareness in healthy aging. The solution to this life-threatening habit is remarkably simple, yet it demands breaking a lifetime of ingrained behavior, the habit of jumping out of bed. The researchers developed what they call the 90-second protocol, a strategy that slashed stroke risk by an incredible 73% in their study participants. First, when you wake up, Remain lying down for 30 seconds. During this time, take 3 slow, deep breaths. This simple act helps to gently activate your cardiovascular system and begins the crucial process of shifting blood flow patterns. Second, slowly and deliberately move to a sitting position on the edge of your bed. Remain there for another 30 seconds. This allows your now less sensitive baroreceptors to detect the change in position and begin their vital work of compensating. Third, and this is crucial, stand up slowly over a period of 5 to 10 seconds. Ideally while holding on to something stable like a nightstand. Then remain standing perfectly still for another 20 to 30 seconds before taking your first step. This deliberate process gives your body full, adequate time to adjust blood flow safely. This might seem excessive, a mere 90 seconds, but the research is crystal clear. These precise 90 seconds could literally be the difference between life and death, or between maintaining your cherished independence and suffering a debilitating stroke. This is the ultimate senior wellness tip. The team also discovered that keeping a glass of water by your bedside and drinking it while sitting up further helps to expand blood volume, making the transition even safer. And performing 3 ankle pumps while sitting, flexing and pointing your feet actively engages your calf muscles. These muscles act as auxiliary pumps, powerfully assisting blood to return from your legs to your heart and, most importantly, to your brain. These 6 morning habits, though seemingly innocuous, are not just small risks. The undeniable research proves they are actively creating a perfect storm for dangerously elevated stroke risk in people over 60. The incredible news is that simple awareness and small, deliberate adjustments to your daily routine can slash your stroke risk by up to 80%. Don't try to change everything at once. Start with just one single change tomorrow morning, perhaps committing to those vital 90 seconds before getting out of bed. Then, gradually, incorporate the others. Your brain, your independence, and your future will profoundly thank you for it. Subscribe. Which advice will you start applying today?